Do you hear me?
I can hear you.
But can anyone else hear us?
Michael, can you hear us?
No. I mean, like the people, out there.
I know. I just thought it would be fun to ask Michael.
Trying to keep me awake.
Michael, make sure you're near the microphone. You're so soft.
Oh, wait, I think they can hear us. They can hear us, but we're on a time delay.
Okay. So, Rabbi, what were you saying? Where are you?
So we're coming to you. I'm coming to you live tonight from Hamel House.
That's so funny.
Sacramento.
Because I am coming to you live from Shea Steinberg.
Better than
Michael?
Shea Stadium.
I'm here at Maison des Chers.
So it is wonderful to be able to be with all of you. We are respecting and adhering to the stay-at-home order. We want to make sure everybody stays safe and healthy. And so we're trying something new tonight. So our apologies for the sound delay. We are going to be, for the next several weeks, as long as the stay-at-home order is in effect, we will be live streaming the Zoom service. And so we just had to figure it out a little bit. Last night was our first night trying it. Tonight is our second night. What a coincidence.
That goes
It's a
with
Hanukkah miracle. And to make things even more fun and more joyous, throughout the service, you may see some other faces popping up and popping in and helping us with the service tonight. But before we could welcome in Shabbat, we first have to welcome in Hanukkah. And so we hope that you'll join us tonight. We begin with Hanukkah, O Hanukkah on page 669. Please join us.
Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, I'll give you a treat. Set the boat to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, I'll give you a treat. Set the boat to play with a latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Oh, you're muted, Rabbi. I'm going to get used to saying that. Oh, Rabbi, you're muted.
Well, because I wanted to sing, but with Zoom, only one person gets to sing at a time. So I had to mute myself so I could sing.
Oh,
I know.
it's okay,
The things
but I know for a fact that when you are muting yourself and you're talking, you are telling the deepest secrets of the universe, the rabbinical teachings of the meaning of life. I hate that we miss out on those.
I know. You know what? I'll call you in the middle of the night and I'll just tell them to you again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anytime. So, one of the fun things about Hanukkah is that usually when we're in the sanctuary, we invite the youth up to light the Hanukkah candles for us. And so now it is my pleasure to invite members of Kesher of our Post B'nai Mitzvah program to light the Hanukkah candles for us tonight. And the blessing for the Hanukkah candles can be found on page 572. And tonight is the night. Do you think they're going to do the Shabbat melody or the Hanukkah melody?
It's exciting. We get to find out.
Because usually for Shabbat, people do the Hanukkah melody.
Hanukkah melody. So maybe for Hanukkah, they'll do the Shabbat melody.
I'm curious.
It's going to be a treat either way.
So let's see. Do you think they're, oh wait, do I hear them knocking at the door? Are they coming in?
I don't know. Are they here now?
Ryan, uh-oh, am I muted? Nope.
No.
Ryan,
We're gonna light our
Hanukkah bring in the Kesher
candles
kids?
together.
I see.
So to get your
Here they
candles
are.
already.
Well, we see them, they don't see them. Oh, now they see them. Yay, look at all those fabulous young adults. How wonderful to see our students. So I'd love for them to lead us in the blessings
the
and
count
look
of
at
three,
that.
we're all gonna unmute
Eliana
and we are
has-
going
oh,
to
and so
sing
does
our
Sasha,
candle blessings
have their menorahs out.
together.
So we're going to turn it over to you guys.
1, 2, 3. Baruch Baruch
Adonai
Elohim
lechaolam
she'asani
avoteinu
yamim
yamim azman hazeh.
That was wonderful. That was so fabulous. And I particularly love that Zach had his own
know about all of you, but I
special,
completely
like
forgot.
handmade menorah. You know, it worked. It totally worked.
Yes.
And so now that we have welcomed in Hanukkah, we can start to turn towards Shabbat and to welcome in Shabbat as well. And it's so wonderful to be able to see how on the live chat, people have been welcoming each other and wishing each other a Shabbat Shalom. And I saw that there was a question about whether or not there is a Zoom link for you guys to join. For this week, we're just live streaming it. We may or may not be able to in the future be able to have people join us on the Zoom as well. But for right now, we're doing this. And it's wonderful to be able to see the comments and to see everything that you guys are saying tonight. But now it is time for us to welcome in the Sabbath bride, the Sabbath queen with Lecha Dodi. And we will be continuing on page 100 and what, Cantor?
Oh, nothing. Go ahead, Rabbi. So sorry.
We'll be continuing on page 138. Please join us for Lecha Dodi. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually facing east already. So when I get up to welcome in the Sabbath Queen, I'm going to be letting her in through those doors because that is where the sun set tonight and she comes in from the west. So please join us on page 138.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor b'zachor b'dibor echad Yishmiyanu elameinu chad Adonai echad U'shemo echad L'shemo tiferet v'litteila Lecha Dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat metubenelecha Ki mekor haberachah merosh mikedem Yesucha לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, התעוררת קומי, אורי, 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 שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלי, נקלט לך אדוני, לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה. לך אדוני, לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
לך אדוני, לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה. לך אדוני, לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה.
You know, I asked her to come in, but she said it was way too wet outside and she was gonna she didn't want to get my house messed up. So maybe next week the Sabbath Queen will come into our house.
Nice.
One can only hope. And so I'm hoping that as we sing Shalom Aleichem, the Shabbat angels will have made sure that our lights, our menorahs on the bima, the candles are lit, the Shabbat candles and the Hanukkah candles. And what a Hanukkah miracle that would be if the angels are able to make that happen for us as we sing Shalom Aleichem to welcome in Shabbat. But as we sing Shalom Aleichem, I will be thinking of our bar mitzvah of Aaron tomorrow, who will be Aaron Myers, who will be called to the Torah, and his parents, Devorah and Deborah, and his younger sister, Elsa, and how excited they are for this joyous day tomorrow. And so I'm pretty sure they're watching. And so Aaron, get some rest tonight. Tomorrow is going to be fun and exciting. And I want to make sure that you have all the pep in the world to be able to have fun. And so now we turn our hearts to Shalom Aleichem, which can be found on page 142. Please join us.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boker l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're muted.
And that is the meaning of life. I believe our Kesher students will be lighting the Shabbat candles for us as well. So I want to invite the Kesher students out of the rain to come on inside and to light the Shabbat candles.
We are going to light our Shabbat candles. Everybody pull out your light. Baruch atah Adonai Asher
Archoni l'shalom, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Zeitchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu.
One of the ways that the rabbis understood the service of old was as a journey. My apologies. Does anyone else hear a reverb? There we go. Let's see how that works. So the rabbis understood the service as a journey, because on a journey, you should grow, you should change. You shouldn't be the same person you were at the end of the journey as you were at the beginning. And similarly, when we engage in prayer together, we don't want to be the same person that leaves the service as the one who entered it. We want to have learned something along the way. We want to have grown, have been enlightened by what we have gone through. And right now, we are on a journey. This is a little bit different than what we've done for the last 10 months. And we too hope that at the end of this journey, we'll come out different than we were when we entered it. So as we prepare ourselves for the Barchu, I want to read a beautiful poem by Sheila Peltz-Weinberg called A Prayer for the Journey. A prayer for the journey. We could say it every day. When we first leave the soft warmth of our beds and don't know for sure if we'll return at night, when we get in the trains and planes and automobiles and put our lives in the hands of many strangers, or when we leave our homes for a day, a week, a month, or more, will we return to a peaceful home, untouched by fire, flood, or crime? How will our travels change us? What gives us the courage to go through the door? A prayer for the journey. For the journey we take in this fragile vessel of flesh, a finite number of years, and we will reach the unknown where it all began. Every life, every day, every hour is a journey. And the travel is the discovery, the wisdom, and the joy. Every life, every day, every hour is a journey. And the travel is the reward, the peace, the blessing. But the beautiful thing about being Jewish is we don't have to go on this journey by ourselves. It's a journey we go on with each other. And so we rise as a community, if you are able, and we face Yerushalayim as the cantor calls us together. Please rise. The Barchu can be found on a page 146.
La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la Barakhu et Adonai Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed Le'olam Va'ed
Please be seated. We continue together with the Mariv Aravim on page 149. Please join me. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Page 150.
Who knows how long I've loved you? Who knows I love you still? I could wait a lonely lifetime. If you want me to, I will. Love you forever and forever. Love you with all my heart. Love you whenever we're together. Love you when we're apart. And when at last I find you, our song will fill the air. Make it loud so I can hear you. Make it easy to be near you. For the things you do endear you to me. Oh, you know I will. And if I ever saw you, I didn't catch your name, but it never really mattered. I will always feel the same. Love you forever and forever. Love you with all my heart. Love you whenever we're together. Love you when we're apart. And when at last I find you, our song will fill the air. Make it loud so I can hear you. Make it easy to be near you. For the things you do endear you to me. Oh, you know I will. Lie, die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Lie, die, 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 die. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
We continue together with the Ve'ahavta on page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך ופומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
I love the service. I absolutely love it. And I find that the older I get, the more meaning I derive from it. And I often wonder about when the prayers made it into the Siddur and why the rabbis chose certain things over others. Why from the entire Torah did they select certain passages that they felt that it was important for us to say, not only every day, but sometimes twice a day or 3 times a day. And I would wonder what made them think that this was of such great importance. And the Micha Mocha is one of those things. We don't have in our text, in our tefillah, texts of terror that remind us of horrible things in our past. We have texts of hope and inspiration that reminds us that miracles can happen to not just ordinary people, but also to those who are most vulnerable and feel the least protected. When our ancestors stood at the shore of the sea, they were not kings and queens or princesses and princesses. They were not noble. They didn't have anything. They were slaves and they were on the run. And God chose to care for them and to protect them and to provide them with the miracle of life. And that's what the Micha Mocha is about. It's about the miracle of simply surviving horrific things and still knowing how to dance and how to sing and how to celebrate through it all. For so many of us, while we've had difficult times in our life, for the most part, our lives are very privileged compared to most people through history. Most of the time, most of us have not been afraid to go to school or to go to work or take a walk down the street. Most of the time, we're pretty sure that the food we're buying from the grocery store is going to be safe and fine. And for the most part, we're not afraid of dying of things like the flu, like our grandparents or great-grandparents might have been, or horrific things like polio, until this year. And this year, we have learned and experienced some of the horrific things that occur on a regular basis in other countries and in other times. And it's been hard. It's been hard for all of us. The not knowing of when it will end, the not knowing what will happen between now and then. And yet when we sing the Micha Mocha, we are reminded, have hope. You're going to make it to the other side. Just have faith and keep going forward. Page 158.
Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedad b'kodesh, Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedad b'kodesh. Torah tehilot, osai peled, Torah tehilot, osai peled, Adonai Tifada Adonai et Yaakov ugelo miad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai
Baruch Shemo.
Yisrael.
And now it's my pleasure to invite the Kesher students back with us again as we sing the Hashkivenu, as we ask God to protect us as we sleep, to provide us with a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace for us and for all the world. So I think they'll be with us in just a moment. It's a bit of ways to travel from their houses to our screen, but I'm sure they'll be here in just a moment. Ah, there they are.
So good to see you. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom, Shalom. V'ha'amidenu Malkeinu L'chaim. Ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, Ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right. Amen. Amen. Amen.
It feels wonderful to be able to share a screen once again, not a screen, but to share a service with our students once again. That was beautiful. And so now we continue on page 162 with the Vishamru.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברי עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברי עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברי עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברי עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת
So Cantor, I just figured out something really wonderful about me being able to actually look at you during services.
What's that? You missed me.
I can see the beat. It makes it easier for me to stay on. So that's really, that was fun.
Sort of a secret. I don't know that a lot of people know that.
I don't think people know that the reason you started stamping your feet during services was so that I could find the beat.
Special, because every once in a while, don't tell anybody I told you this, but the rabbi will turn and go, "What's the beat?" And it's
no, actually, I'll say, "Give me a beat."
That is more accurate.
So now we rise for the tefillah, which will be a little bit different tonight. After the silent prayer, the cantor will bring us back with a special part of the tefillah that we only do at Hanukkah and Purim, and it is the part of the Misha Berach known as Al Hanisim, for the miracles. Purim and Hanukkah are the two festivals on our calendar that don't come from the Bible, but come from our experience in history after the Bible was completed. And we felt the need to be able to commemorate these two extremely important times in our history. Ironically enough, both times where we were nearly extinct. Do you see a pattern evolving in our history? It's not one I like. No. And so, yeah. And so for Al Hanisim, we give thanks for the miracles that occurred for our ancestors at this time in years past. And so when we get to that page, as I said, is it also on page 180, Cantor?
No,
is it on both?
556.
Okay, so when you get to page 180 in the Siddur, we will then jump to page 556. But for now, we're going to begin on page 164. And don't worry if you forgot all those numbers, just keep going with us anyway. Page 164, please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agidei latecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor B'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot B'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol, Atah Rav Le'Oshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rapim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishanei Afar, Michamocha Ba'gevurot, Umido Melech, Melech Mimit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah le'achayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, מקיים הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue praying privately, either standing or sitting, as is your custom, and we continue from page 172 through 180.
הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל השוב ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל השוב ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל השוב ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל השוב ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל השוב ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
That was beautiful, but I have to say I am not at all used to sitting down during services. It feels a little weird. So doesn't it to you, Cantor? It really does.
I know.
And so now we turn our.
I have to say, before we go towards the Misha Berach, that
Yeah.
it is strange, it is hard, but there's something that fills my heart knowing that we are all here together. I wish I could see everybody. I wish I could be with everybody, but I'm so happy that we have this opportunity and that we can share in this difficult time and in the joy of Shabbat together still.
I agree with you completely. So now we take a breath and we turn from talking of miracles in the past to praying for miracles in the present. We offer a Misha Berach Lecholim, a prayer for healing for all who are ill, a healing of body, and a healing of spirit, on page 371.
Misha Berach Avoteinu, Abraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misha Berach Imoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Berachah. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with the vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way.
Misha Berach Avoteinu, Misha Berach Imoteinu, hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well.
Amen. During the festival of Hanukkah, our festival of light in the middle of the dark days, you would think that the holiday would begin on the winter solstice, and each night the days would get longer and longer. But instead, as we celebrate the festival of light, each day gets darker and darker. And yet in our houses, we add a light, and then another, and then another, and then another. And we remind ourselves during this festival that even when the world is dark, it is our responsibility to bring light into the world. And the darker the world gets, the more lights we must bring into it. So for this Hanukkah, I asked 9 members of our congregation, 8 candles and a shamus, to tell us how do they bring light into this darkened world. And so we have a special treat tonight to hear briefly from 9 of our congregants about how we can make the world better as well.
It takes a village to achieve just about any meaningful effort in our world, both big and small. Being the shamash, helping the helpers to help others. Most of us are familiar with the African proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child." The truth is, it takes a village to achieve just about any meaningful effort in our world, both big and small. The power of community over the past several years, and especially this year with the COVID-19 crisis, has been especially crucial. My role in our community has been described as being similar to a shamash candle, helping the helpers to help others. This is easy to do at CBI because there are so many congregants willing to help. It has been a rewarding experience that has given me much reason for hope in these challenging times. B'nai Israel is like my extended family. When I first joined 35 years ago, I was inspired by one of the senior members, Helen Merritt. Every year at high holidays, Helen would stand in front of the congregation, reminding us of the hunger in our community and asking for our help. By the end of the holidays, the foyer would be completely full of grocery bags filled to the brim. I was so impressed by the kindness and generosity of our congregation and that we cared for everyone in Sacramento. Inspired by these efforts, several years ago, I volunteered to chair the CBI Immigration and Refugee Assistance Committee. I quickly felt overwhelmed responding to the needs of so many refugee families and realized I couldn't do it alone. Our CBI members stepped up to help, driving families to medical appointments, setting up their apartments, picking them up at the airport, and providing clothing, food, and other essential items. I often think back to last winter when a mother and her 2 teenage sons from Guatemala arrived with nothing but the clothes on their backs. I often think back to that time. With one email to several CBI members, I was able to collect and deliver winter coats, shoes, and socks, food, and many more needed items. It's group efforts like this that make me appreciate our caring and generous CBI family. Individual commitment to a group effort. That's what makes a team work. And at CBI, throughout the pandemic, we have had an incredible team of volunteers, adults, and our youth who respond to a call for help or reach out to me to offer their help with whatever is needed. By calling our seniors to check in on them, delivering groceries and prescriptions, sending notes, and by delivering prayer books and gift bags, sending artwork to members, baking cookies, and helping them over the high holidays. We also had the youth sew masks for our religious school kids, the madrahim, teachers, 266 in all. The list goes on and on. We have a fundamental responsibility to be kind to one another and look out for each other. Gemilut Hasadim means the giving of loving kindness, which is an essential social value in the everyday lives of Jews. It is a mitzvah that an individual acts with Gemilut Hasadim without anticipating receiving something in return, although the inner satisfaction one gets from these acts often feels like a reward. Even one small action can help so many and bring light and hope into our world. I'll end the same way I began, with so much gratitude to our congregants for their generosity and willingness to reach out to those within our CBI family and to reach beyond our own walls to help the larger Sacramento community.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone, from the Sacramento Bee's Land Park News Bureau. Yes, this is where I do my work these days. This has been my home base since March, and apparently this is where I'll be for at least a few more months. And since a lot of you have asked, no, I have no idea where the newspaper is moving to after we leave 21st and Q next summer. Anyway, on to the topic at hand. I was a little taken aback and more than a little humbled when Rabbi Alfie asked me to participate in this project. She had asked me to talk about bringing the news and the truth to people. It was so impressive sounding and kind of daunting, frankly. Honestly, 90% of the time, I don't even really think about it in those terms. It's just what I do. It's my job. Writing for newspapers, and this is my 4th, is the only job I've ever held. And most of the time, that's what it is to me, a job. A really good job, but a job. Still, I don't want to dismiss her concept out of hand. These are perilous times we're living in, and it falls to journalists to help keep elected officials honest and act as the watchdogs of society. We have our critics, and there are times when we fall short of our own standards. But we in the mainstream media get it right a lot more often than we get it wrong. We do bring the truth to people. And these days, when it feels like democracy is hanging by a thread, that is no small thing. Even in this era of newspaper bankruptcies and shrinking news staffs and shrinking audiences, we are still fundamentally important to the running of this society. And I am proud to play a role in that. It all sounds pretty grand, I know. Let me bring it down to a more personal level. I decided to become a newspaper reporter after reading All the President's Men while in high school. It sounded like the absolute coolest job possible. And most of the time, it still is. There are days when you're working on a great story, an important story, you might be the only journalist who knows about it. And the adrenaline is going, and in that moment, you don't necessarily stop and think about bringing truth to people. You just want to make sure you get it right. But afterwards, you reflect on what you've done, and you hope you moved the needle a little bit toward truth and decency. And you might even ask yourself, do we bring light to the world? Yeah, Rabbi Alfie, I'd say so.
My light is donating blood, an essential life-saving tool. For me, it started in 2002 when a member from this congregation called me to see if I would donate blood on Mitzvah Day. I liked the idea, but was a bit apprehensive because I had never donated blood before. Needless to say, I haven't stopped donating since. Realized it was quite easy and there is a great need. We rely on donors to maintain our national blood supply. Every 2 seconds, somebody is in need of donated blood. It's not just those who get in car accidents. It's our family members going in for surgeries. It is people with cancer. It's people with anemia and other blood disorders. They all need our blood donations in order to survive. Because of the global pandemic, our blood supplies are low. To maintain an environment, a safe one for donations, blood drives and donation centers have fewer people coming in at one time and have set up safety precautions. One blood donation can help up to 3 people. Can you donate? Well, if you're at least 16 years of age, weigh at least 110 pounds, and feel healthy on your day of donation, you possibly could donate blood too. My light is donating blood. It could be yours too. Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom and Happy Hanukkah. I'm Judy Hyman, and I'm co-chair along with Alan Saunders of B'nai Israel's Racial Justice Committee. I'm speaking to you this evening on behalf of the dozens of B'nai Israel volunteers who work against racism. We come together to learn, reflect, and act. We learn together by reading books and articles, by watching movies and videos, by listening to and engaging with speakers. We gather for honest conversations where we can reflect and help each other grow. And we come together to act by making signs and marching for justice, by sending letters and emails, calling our elected officials, and showing up to public meetings, by voting and helping to register voters and combat voter suppression nationally, and by volunteering with other groups in our broader community, working to advance racial justice. Why is it that so many of you keep showing up despite the demands of daily life, especially in these times? We've asked, and here's what we've learned. It's because of our collective commitment to do our part in making the world a better place, each in our own way. It's because of Rabbi Tarfon's teaching that you see here, and that which is written on our temple wall. It's because we inspire one another by supporting and challenging each other to keep learning and growing. And it's because it's very important to us that B'nai Israel be an integral part of the growing movement to repair the damage of systemic racism. I'd like to share with you a comment from a CBI member who attended our summer discussions on the Black Lives Movement. This is an excerpt from a message we received.
The program forced me to look deeply at myself, to understand how much I don't know, and to face things I was not even aware of. Yes, it made me uncomfortable, but in a productive and good way. As a result, I commit to actively continue to learn, read, and listen, to challenge myself to be anti-racist at all times, to pay attention to and accept feedback about my words and my behavior in order to grow even though it is uncomfortable, and to act in support of racial justice. Thank you so very much for this opportunity to learn and grow in a safe place with fellow congregants.
And that, in a nutshell, is why we do what we do. I'd like to tip my Hanukkah yarmulke to our wonderful B'nai Israel racial justice volunteers for their work throughout the year. Shabbat Shalom.
I am the co-chair for the Immigration and Refugee Assistance Committee. We see ourselves in Charles Joseph, the father who has transformed himself in prison and is fighting to stay here with his family. I do this work because getting to know Charles has showed me the power of change, second chances, perseverance and positivity, love and respect, equality and justice. Charles made these themes authentic for me. He's overjoyed by the support he has received in his time of despair. I tell Charles how privileged I feel to work alongside him. I feel hope from the large mobilization that has come together to support his pardon campaign.
I am a co-chair of the Immigration and Refugee Assistance Committee. I do this work because I'm only alive here in this country because my grandparents were given a haven here when Europe was not safe for Jews. When we support asylum seekers here in our community, or we advocate for an end to immigrant detention, we spread light. We're saying to immigrants, we see you. We affirm your worth. We believe you are deserving of safety, and we have confidence you will contribute to our country. While our government over the last 4 years has worked to dehumanize, we spread hope by humanizing the other, by seeing ourselves in them. I see myself in the immigrant mother who wants desperately to raise her children with security.
Good evening, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Happy Hanukkah. This is Jeff Rosenhall, Congregation B'nai Israel member, and I was asked to speak about how I bring light into my world and hopefully the greater world. I am a 51% optimist, always slightly towards the positive. It's something that's gotten me through my childhood and served me well since. It maps well with my work life, my professional life. I'm in public health, and so we're always looking at how to make people healthier and keep them healthy. I'm in the injury and violence prevention team there, and we focus on science-based prevention approaches, amplifying the things that work, evaluating them, trying to get them out to as many people across the state as possible. And I really love being in a helping profession, and having this philosophy of public service really works well for me. In my home life, we're all in this pandemic together, same at our house with my wonderful wife and my 2 children and our adopted dog. We're all living and learning and loving together under one roof. And some days it really works and some days it's a real challenge, but I just really try and keep positive if I can. The ways I do that are just bringing mindfulness, hopefully myself, taking a couple moments every day to really just go blank and just breathe. Experiencing nature, whether it's in my backyard or on a short trip somewhere. I love being in nature, and then just moving, exercising, biking, running, walking, just really keeps me positive. And just thinking about what we do have, all the blessings that we do have, our health, our home, our community. Those are things that help me so that I'm able to continue to do the work that I do out in the world. So happy Hanukkah all. Thank you.
Lighting Hanukkah candles gives us another opportunity to shine light on the dark truth of human trafficking. It happens all over the world. including in our Sacramento region. People are being forced, lied to, and coerced to perform sex and other forced labor against their will for the profit of those who enslave them. The trafficked are often the most vulnerable in our community. The undocumented immigrants, those living without shelter or funds, the young, and others who are marginalized. Hanukkah reminds us of our history of fighting for freedom. And as Jews, we must continue that fight for others as well. While the enormity of the task is daunting, we as individuals and organizations must act. But how? When I first learned about the horror of human trafficking, I knew I had to do whatever I could. I found my home for collective action at the National Council of Jewish Women Sacramento and received ongoing support from the congregation to educate our Sacramento community about trafficking, to support local organizations that provide critical services for survivors, and to successfully advocate for anti-trafficking laws at the national, state, and local level. I encourage everyone to light the path to freedom. There is no miracle of oil to keep the flame going strong, but together, through our actions and advocacy, we can keep that light burning bright.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Ryan Behrman, and this is one of the rare times you will see me in front of a camera. I'm usually behind the scenes where I volunteer my time to run the audio-video needs at CBI. I came back to CBI in 2009 when I was in college because it became a safe place. My parents were going through a divorce, and Rabbi Alfie and Cantor Steinberg became my go-to people and welcomed me into their families. Thus, CBI was the place where I spent my free time hanging out. A couple years after graduating college, Rabbi Alfie brought up what she hoped to do in regards to the audiovisual needs of CBI and asked if I would take it on since I had been working in the audio-video industry since I was in high school. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, do I live at CBI? And no, I don't. Even though prior to the pandemic, I was always here, whether it was AV related or helping Dean. But if you had asked me at my bat mitzvah if I would be this involved, I would have thought you were joking. Because of spending so much time here, it became more than just a place. It became my community where I wanted to spend time, and I looked forward to seeing everyone. When the pandemic happened, instead of flipping tables and moving chairs, the focus became how do we stay connected as a community? And that is where I could put my AV skills to good use. Why I volunteered to run the AV since March so that our temple can stay connected is because for me, making sure that people can stay connected to a place that means a lot to them means a lot to me. I know without CBI, my life would be different, and I'm grateful to have it as part of my life. Keeping our congregants connected, whether they are college students, families that don't live close by, or congregants that can't make it to in-person services, to make sure that people can stay connected to something that means a lot to them is important. With the pandemic, it became very important so that our community can stay connected. And it's become not just the congregants who was originally intended for, but it's grown into former congregants who no longer live in the area and family members of congregants that now join us for services. One of my favorite things on Friday nights now is seeing the chat, where it's not just our congregants chatting to each other, but also family members chatting with each other. With live streaming, it's how we grow our community so that it's not just inside the boundaries of our physical location that people can join us, but also how we stay connected, whether we can be there in person or not, even when there is no pandemic. You can be anywhere and still be part of this community. Happy Hanukkah.
I hope all of you, there we go. I hope all of you were as touched as I was by those beautiful personal stories. I found it incredibly hard to pick 9 people to share their stories, not because it was hard to find that many people, but it was hard to only ask that many people. We are incredibly blessed at B'nai Israel to be filled with a congregation that spend so much time, both professionally and personally, sharing their talents, sharing their passion, and sharing their love to make the world that we live in a better place. And so I want to thank those 9 for sharing their stories. And I want to thank all of you who are watching and praying with us tonight for doing all that you do to make this world a kinder and better and more healthy place for all of us to live in. That was beautiful. So some quick announcements. After services, we do have a Hanukkah virtual oneg that we hope that you'll be able to all go to. We'll drop the link into the chat to make sure, or actually, yes, double check. Well, the Zoom, I got confused because we're on multiple technologies tonight. We'll drop the link into the chat for you to be able to get on the Zoom afterwards. Tomorrow morning, we have Torah study at 10 a.m. At 10:30 in the morning, we're celebrating the bar mitzvah of Aaron Herzog Myers. And also at 10:30, Denny Marshall will be leading a meditation service. At 6 o'clock tomorrow night, we'll celebrate the 3rd night of Hanukkah, hosted by the Women of B'nai Israel, hosted by Wibby. And as you see on the screen, there is something going on every night. Don't forget to check our website or check your Hanukkah sheet that we passed out at the Hanukkah giveaway to see what's going on each night. And I also want to point out Monday night is the community celebration. And we hope that everybody will be able to join the Jewish Federation and area clergy on Monday night. The going back a night, so Friday 30th, let me get the numbers straight. The 3rd night of Hanukkah is Saturday. That will be the Wibby, or the Women of B'nai Israel. The 4th night of Hanukkah is on Sunday. That will be the Brotherhood community on Monday. And then on Tuesday, it will be Denise Krevin and Karen Hamill. And on Wednesday night will be Cantor Steinberg and our choir leading the celebration. Next Thursday night is the last night of Hanukkah. It's a lot of math for my head. And my Hanukkah fascinator is too tight. It's kind of squeezing my brain. So the last night of Hanukkah, we will be coming at you with the Cantor and myself again, as we did last week. I'll be at the temple and Cantor and all of you will be at home. And so we hope you'll be able to join us for all 8 nights. Please check your Chadashot and our website for details, particularly if any changes come up. And I just want to thank, before we continue, Cantor Steinberg and Michael Hersher for always bringing so much joy and so much beauty to our services. And I want to thank our Kesher students for Zooming in with us tonight. We love you guys. We miss you so, so, so much. And it was wonderful to be able to see your wonderful, wonderful faces. So stay tuned.
I would like to also thank our wonderful Rabbi Alfie for her words of wisdom and kindness that guide us through many difficult weeks and bring Shabbat and peace into our homes. So thank you, Rabbi. And of course to Ryan Behrman for doing whatever it is that she does magically. I try.
I love you, Cantor. You crack me up. Someday you'll learn the technology. Someday.
So good.
And so now we continue with our service with the Aleinu. Beginning on page 586, we'll be doing the first and last paragraph of the Aleinu, which means page 586 and page 591. Please join us.
And please rise.
I'm going to stay because I'm finding this is not working.
I totally get that. If you are able, please rise. See, I can do that. The technology. Okay. Aleinu neshabeach ladon hakol latet kedula leotzer breshit שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
And for those of you who are standing, please be seated. Our thoughts now turn to loved ones who are no longer with us. And sadly, our congregation lost a longtime and beloved member of our synagogue. Shelley Shermer passed away last week. And it is with our condolences that we extend our love and our condolences to her beloved husband, Michael Shermer, her beloved son, David Shermer, and to her adored grandchildren, Max and Julia Holden and Natalie Shermer. I believe I saw that David Shermer is joining us tonight from Southern California, and Michael, I assume, is also joining us tonight from Sacramento. And on behalf of our congregation, I really, truly want to say we are so sorry for the two of you and for your larger extended family. Shelley was a good friend to many in our congregation. She was a sweet and kind and wonderful woman, and she will be missed by all of us. Also, with sadness, passing earlier this week, it's my sadness to announce that passing earlier this week was Robert Bob Pruger, the beloved father of Joseph Pruger, beloved father-in-law of Shelley Pruger, and beloved papa of Zevi and Shale Pruger. And Joey and Shelley and Zevi and Shale, we are so sorry. On behalf of our congregation, we extend our condolences to your family on the passing of your very beloved father and grandfather. Also, with sadness, we recall the recent passing of Eileen Weinreb, the beloved mother of Rachel Weinreb and beloved grandmother of Hannah and Abigail Archibald. Eileen was the mayor of Hayward and an extraordinary volunteer, both in the Jewish community and the secular community, and truly made this world a better place for her having been a part of it. It is also with heavy hearts that we recall the recent passing of Katia Bustos Loaiza de Goldberg, the beloved wife of John Goldberg and beloved mother to Katerina and Jack Goldberg, a beloved member of our congregation who was sweet and kind and truly lived the life of a teacher, both in her professional and personal life, modeling for us how to be a light in the world. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories forever be a blessing. We also recall loved ones who have passed away at this time in years past. We remember Jeannie Buxella, Edith Budman, Irving Cohen, Judith Berliner Cohen, Helen Dresser, Leonard Dresser, Brock Edge, Erwin Gaines, Lillian Griffin, Celia Hausman, Trudy Cohen Heilbronn, Gussie Kaufman, Anna Levin Klein, Lila Levin, Harry Littman, Gus Marks, Robert Marks, Lucy Maurer, Irving Bud Meinrath, David Meredith, Santos Miara, Gladys Nagelbush, Samuel Newman, John Nosler, Anna Novick, James O'Malley, Ruth Patterson, Ethel Perlberg, Jeanette Pendrock, Nathan Rabofsky, Heinz Ross, Harry Schuper, Carolyn Smith, Maury Sauce, Ken Sullivan, Beulah Sweet, Donna Tabor, Evelyn Tochterman, Gertrude Weinberg, Deb Weintraub, Florence Ziegler, and Beverly Zimmerman. If there are names of loved ones that you would like to add to the Kaddish list tonight, please feel free to write the names of your loved ones in the chat for the Zoom, for the live stream, so that we can hold them in our hearts as well. I would also like to ask all those who are saying Kaddish to please rise and to allow us to offer these words of comfort. Hamakom yenechem etchem betok sha'ar avlei Zion v'Yushalayim. May God comfort you among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We rise in body or in spirit with all those who are in mourning, to provide comfort with them, to let them know that we are with them even in this most painful of times. We continue with the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei zechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mabarach le'olam umei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei tekucha b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mormav, uya asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us all say, Amen. We conclude tonight with a special treat with our very own Michael Hersher, who's got a bit of a funky dreidel song to leave us spinning with joy and with happiness on the second night of Hanukkah.
I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay. When it's dry and ready, dreidel I shall play. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, dreidel I shall play. I've been stuck inside the house with those wintertime blues, but when I play that dreidel game, you know I just can't lose. Dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay. Oh yeah, I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, dreidel I shall play. It's my turn to spin the dreidel. Try to stop me if you dare. A great miracle can happen here because it happened there. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay. Oh yes, I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, dreidel I shall play. Well, spin that funky dreidel, let the games begin. It's bound to fall on one of each, Nun, Gimel, Hey, or Shin. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay. What's that you say? You made it out of clay? And when it's dry and ready, dreidel I shall play. One more time. I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay. When it's dry and ready, dreidel I shall play. Dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. What are you doing? Spinning that dreidel? I made it out of clay. Oh yes, I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, dreidel I shall play. Oh yeah. Happy Hanukkah.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shalom, that was fabulous.